It's a great day to grow your business. I'm Victor Holman, CEO of Lifecycle Performance Professionals, and today I'd like to talk about motivating your employees. In today's down economy, it's more important than ever to have a motivated workforce because a motivated employee is a productive employee, and a productive employee is a more profitable employee. On the other hand, when people aren't motivated, they become less productive, less creative, and less of an asset to your company. Now, more than ever, we need motivated employees. How do you motivate employees? This brings us to a critical question. People do things for one of two reasons. Number one reason, they do things because they want to. The other reason is because they have to. Now, if a person does things because they have to, they will only perform to a minimum. If they do things because they want to, there's no limit to their performance. The environment that you create must be one where people want to do their jobs, not where people feel like they have to do them in order to avoid criticism. Now, there's the Maslow's Pyramid of motivation. How do you motivate employees? We know that Maslow postulated that there were 5 basic needs that you could use to motivate anybody. The first need is the psychological need. This is the physical need. Physical needs are the need for air, the need for food, the need for water, the need for shelter from cold and rain, and so on and so forth. That the physical needs are very basic, and any threat to the physical needs causes a person to react very, very strongly. These are the survival needs. The second set of needs is what is called the security needs. Now, security needs are security within a job, security within a relationship, security within society's freedoms from attack, freedom from poverty, and so those kind of things. And the next level is the belonging needs. The belonging needs are the needs that each person has that to associate with other human beings. That's why in prisons, the way that they punish people is by depriving them of one of the basic needs. They can't deprive them of food and water. They can't deprive them of safety, but what they can deprive them of is associated with others, and that's why they put them into solitary confinement. Now, above the level of needs is the esteem needs, and this is the need to feel important and valuable, and above that you have self-actualization need, which is the need to fulfill one's potential and become everything one's capable of becoming. Now, below that, the major motivation that motivates people to fulfill these needs is fear. Fear of loss of belonging, fear of loss of security, and fear of loss of physical survival. These needs are all called deficiency needs. A deficiency need is a need that only acts as a motivator as long as the person has the need. In other words, once a person has a certain amount of food, this particular need no longer motivates them to do anything. Once a person has a certain amount of security, it's no longer a motivator. Once a person has a certain amount of belongingness or friendship or associates, you can no longer motivate them by giving them more. The best way to put it is this way. If you're really hungry and you're starving, a person couldn't come and offer you a hamburger for $10, and for $10 you pay for it because you're so hungry. However, if they offered you a second hamburger, after the first hamburger, you may only pay $5. The third hamburger you may only pay like $3, and then the fourth hamburger you pay $1, and then the fifth you maybe wouldn't even pay anything at all. Because why? Your needs were associated, had already been met. The major motivator or thing that motivates people to achieve higher levels of esteem and recognition and appreciation is desire. The desire for greater feeling of self-worth. And the thing that motivates people in the terms of self-actualization is also desire. And those two needs are growth needs. Growth needs are needs that can never be satisfied. In other words, no matter how much a person has of esteem, recognition, well-being, appreciation, and self-actualization, they can never be satisfied. So what are the best motivators to get people to do things? Well, of course, what most companies use is the fear motivator. They threaten people with punishment, loss of jobs, job security, loss of wages, with poor work conditions that put them away from other people, and they use fear as a motivator. However, soon as a person has overcome those particular fears, they're no longer motivated, so they only do the minimum amount of work possible. The excellent companies always use the growth motivators, the desire for esteem and recognition by giving prizes, by giving rewards, by giving thanks, by giving gratitude, by giving time off, by giving extra bonuses, by giving raises, more responsible positions, and so on. And the self-actualization needs, the need to be creative, the need to fulfill one's potential. So if you want to run a successful organization, remember, you can only run a business for a certain amount of time based on fear and can only reach true success when you start reaching your people through esteem and self-actualization. Okay, so let's recap. Like Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, employees also have needs that drive their performance. Fear and growth motivators are the needs that employees are most responsive to. While many companies use fear to get work done, successful companies use growth motivators to inspire. And to be most productive, you need to focus on the tasks that bring the most return on investment to your company. If you enjoyed this video, then join my Business Mastery Insider Secrets Club. There you'll have access to all my business mastery systems, over 1,000 business strategy videos, over 100 hours of Business Mastery University courses. You'll access my 10 business assessment tools, my 12 business planning tools, the Small Business Makeover, the 120-day performance challenge, the 6-month internet blueprint, thousands of business articles, over 700 business templates, and over 100 of my favorite business strategy ebooks. All of this for just $29 a month for a limited time. So join now.